right, guys, let's get started. So today, yoga core. Remember, this is extra focus on creating a healthier midsection, which includes abdomen, obliques, like side body. We got deep lower back. We got all the lower back muscles. We got hips, glutes, hip flexors, even your thighs. Hamstrings are part of your core, ribs, diaphragm, even your lat, right? That's all core. So when we think core, a lot of stuff happening. Today, extra focus on planks. We haven't done it in a while. Planks are great. They're safe for beginners. They're safe for if you're cold. Great way to heat up, actually. So let's start. Let's come down to our chest. If you need a quick cat-cow to warm up the core, let's do that, okay? Let's start right into it today. All right, big inhale, arch the back and lift the chin. Big exhale, such a fantastic way to wake up the breath, the deep body, and the spine, back, ab muscles, okay? Big inhale, arch your back. And remember, there's many ways to do cat-cow. There's very soft cat-cow. There's isolated where you move your hips a little bit more without your upper body, and then you do your upper body more. And there's also very intense cat-cow where you're really almost activating very intensely on the end ranges. It just depends on what day you have it. I am a little tired and sore today. I did 2 runs yesterday, yoga class. I did some other light exercise. I'm really feeling it today. I woke up a little groggy. So I would be taking it easy personally in yoga class today, but probably overall make me feel better. If you're just joining, we're in cat-cow, okay? Start to move a little side to side in your cat-cow. So in a sense, draw circles. Warm up your core with movement, because I want to warn you, we're going to go basically 2 more things right into our first plank hold. So for this first exercise, warming up breath, abs, lower back, side bodies, all right? Next exercise to wake up elbows, shoulders, hips, and knees. I'll keep moving. Tabletop, right leg back, left arm forward. Okay, this is a fantastic one. I want to break this out usually at least once a week. Been a couple weeks though. Big inhale, lift, lengthen. Press your left foot down, grip your right hand. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Okay, inhale. If this is too much too early, guys, what you do is you just do it with your left hand on the floor. Like seriously, you can just do your leg. That is much, I would say it's much more important to wake up the leg, okay? The lower back in a sense, right? So we're doing if you're just joining, guys, we're gonna need, if you have them, grab your yoga blocks, and you can see I have a blanket, a slippery surface. We're gonna try a few things today, okay? After you do a good 6 to 12, take a little cat-cow. Left leg will eventually rise. Press your right foot down. So it's like the opposite. One leg lifts and straightens and flex. One leg pushed down, point to toe and bends, right? Right arm forward like you're going to shake somebody's hand. Thumb is up. Okay, drop that left hip. Pull the ribs in. Reach, reach, reach. Big inhale. Okay, exhale, elbow, knee. Go ahead. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow, knee. Say it's all too easy too, right? You can do it in plank, you can do it with your eyes closed, you can do it with your back toes tucked, knee lifted, if you want to get crazy. There are ways to make this really difficult, okay? If it's all too easy, I want you to make sure you're adapting the practice for your level and how you're feeling today. But don't ever come into practice with expectations. I've gone into yoga classes many times really tired and like, oh God, this is going to be rough right now. And I've had the best classes in my life. I've gone into classes feeling great and had a terrible practice mentally and physically. So keep an open mind. You surprise yourself if you go in without expectations, all right? Now listen, that's to wake up the major joints, more the stabilizers and the balance. Now, let's waken up like our first stretch, let's call it. Down dog. Your pace, your timing, toes tucked, hips up and back. Move around a little bit, yogis. Get into your feet. That's going to run up the ankles, the shins, the knees, the hips. Okay. Shake your head yes and no. Get the neck starting to open up a little bit more. Move your hips side to side. Breathe deep. Because right after this, I did mention, if you're coming in a little bit after we started, a little extra focus on plank holds. Planks are a great way to strengthen your full body. okay? And there are many levels, so that makes it even more practical, okay? So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna time those planks. A lot of times I do the counter in my head, but you know my counts are off sometimes. So I'm gonna use my timer right here, okay? All right, guys, let's do it. First plank hold. Let's see if we can stay on the hands. If you need, drop to the knees or come down to your forearms. Let's shift forward. All right, plank hold. I'm starting the clock now, 1 minute. So work on spreading your back, engaging those fingers, straightening those arms, rolling the crease of the elbow forward. Now we're turning muscles on. Let's engage our thighs and our butt, but don't overstrain. Okay, a little bit of pulling your navel in here too, and a spreading of the back. So I want a protract, it's called. All right, let's keep breathing. You're about, already 22 seconds in. Remember, it's a warm-up round for our plank, so we're not going crazy here just yet. Not too long of a hold, but not a short hold either. Okay, a couple more breaths. Some of you are adding in push-ups. You know, that's totally cool. You're still holding plank. But remember, sometimes good just to hold that static plank. Work on your breath. That will increase muscle stamina. It would also calm your nervous system. You'll be able to hold longer, easier. Okay, come on, let's keep going. Hold that pose, please. Oh, look at that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment, drop down to the knees. Quick ankle stretch. Sit back on the heels, lean back. Now, if this is too much, sit on your block. My big toes touch, my knees are wide. A little bit extra stretch here for your shins, ankles, thighs. Look at those knees lift. Okay, remember we've done a lot of this variation where you prop it up and you get the ankle stretch. Okay, we've done a single leg, but I'm here just kind of lifting both knees. Okay, getting that ankle stretch. So what we're gonna do, a warm-up movement, twist base, plank. Another warm-up movement, a warm-up for the biggest hamstrings, hip flexors, and side body, okay? So you can see that going on now. All right, so when you're ready, let's come forward, downward dog. So I want you to make this a moving meditation, okay? If you'll watch me for a moment, down dog is gonna be our exhale, quite simple. You're gonna step your right foot outside your right pinky, inhale your right arm up, exhale your right hand down, right foot back. Inhale, left foot outside left pinky, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down, left foot back, down dog. Like really push back and hips up. Remember, this is like an opening drill. We want to stimulate parts of our body that normal patterns of life aren't stimulating. Yogis, if it's tough, look at hands on blocks makes this easier, especially the step forward. Inhale, that's a twisting lunge. Right hand down, right foot back is the exhale. Okay, so we're gonna alternate sides. The inhale steps the foot forward and twist your chest arm up open. Don't forget, you can add on, right? You can roll on the outer edges of your feet. You can add a little bit of push-ups in there. You can add low plank if you know how to kind of exhale first to low plank. We've done that in the power class, all right? So let's do a few more. We're rotating from the core. Work and activating the legs in the first lunge, the first step forward. It's all core, deep breathing. But save a little energy because you got your second round of plank right around the corner here, right? Remember, every single basically exercise class you should be doing, let's call it, I don't like the word exercise, I like the word like body maintenance or like self-care. We want to make sure we're like doing bent lifting and twisting, all right? So in a sense, you're bent over here, but you're activating and then you're twisting up against gravity. So they call it the BLT, not the sandwich. Let's not get the stomach going here, but the bent lifting and twisting. We got to practice that. It's one of the main ways people develop like acute injuries in the lower back, which can turn like chronic, okay? All right, downward dog, guys. Now, second plank hold. Okay, so I'm doing it on blocks. It's nice. If you never do it on blocks, notice it's a little bit higher, a little different. All right, so we're all in plank. I can see most of us there. Now, minute 15, you're on the clock. Couple breaths. If it hurts your wrist, you gotta work on gripping your fingers more. Remember, you're weight bearing on joints. Muscle contraction is designed to bear weight. If you get lazy in areas that you're bearing weight, that's joint loading. Joints aren't really meant to bear your weight. They're meant for movement. So can you engage muscle in the wrist, in the hands? All right, you gotta work on turning those on. Engage your thighs and your butt. If you feel good, how about you hover the right foot this second round? But maybe it's too much, that's totally cool. That's gonna put a lot more tension on that left side. Very much more asymmetrical, much more likely to cause injury, strain, and soreness. Okay, now you can put that right foot down, you can hover that left foot. We're still in plank if you can, guys. We're still in plank. You only got 27 seconds left. All right, remember, one of the master yoga teachers of the modern era, his name was BKS Iyengar. He's the big yogi who made alignment very famous. Made modern yoga, the style we create, very developed. And he said the posture really doesn't begin. The yoga doesn't start until you want to leave the pose. Okay, so if you leave the pose every time when it gets hard, you're only getting that minimal benefit. Good job. Let's take a little breather. Drop down to the knees. Remember what we did earlier? Now watch me here. Tuck your toes, sit back for a moment. Okay, and now stretch your arms behind you. So see how I give you a tiny little break? We're working opening and strengthening in the warm-up. So hands behind, roll the shoulders back. Both toes are tucked here. Heels, big toes touch. And I'm kind of saying here. Just take 3 to 4 more breaths. The posture doesn't start, the yoga practice doesn't start physically until you want to leave the posture mentally. Gotta remember that when it gets difficult, guys. We gotta remember willpower. You're much stronger than you think. It's just, what's that old saying? Where there's a will, there's a way. Develop will, and the way manifests, that you get stronger. Mental strength, that's what will is. Let's keep going. Get off of those feet. All right, so this is a mobility drill for your core. Let's call this our biggest opening warm-up, and then we're gonna do one more round of plank, all right? So again, it might be good to have your blocks. Let me just show you quick. Right foot steps forward. Now what I'm gonna do is inhale, look at this. Let's call this a back bend. So we're not gonna do like cobras to warm up back bends always. I'm gonna drop my hips forward toward my heel. Let me move my block forward so you can see. Now watch, exhale, straighten my hips forward, fold over the leg. Think of it like a really big cat-cow. Inhale, bend the front knee, press feet down, lift chest, look up. Exhale, straighten right leg, forward fold over the leg. So it's a moving, breathing, anjyana inhale. You could reach your arms up if you want. Exhale, if you want to go crazy, you never put the hands down. You forward fold, balance. If not, easier, hands on blocks. Inhale, big core. Exhale. Please continue. Again, don't force it, guys. This is big stuff. Easy. Kindness to your body first. A master maintenance, self-maintenance person, right, can balance kindness on their body and challenge. That's the master. And I always tend to see a lot of like athletes, they're too hard on their body. They're lacking the kindness. And a lot of people are too kind to their body, right? So, too much dessert, too much treats, and kind of sitting around. So what do you need to work on? Come on. A little more challenge, a little more pushing, or a little bit of backing off. We got both in this class. All right. I have split personality. I'm really good at sitting on the couch and eating cookies, and I'm really good at running twice a day. So, all right, it just depends on the day. All right, listen, guys, let's slowly step our right foot back. If you need to shake your right leg out, we're basically going to go side to side. It's not a vinyasa class. We're just going to go right to our second side. So make sure, I see one or two of you, see how my feet is too close, and when I go forward, I kind of get this and I can't lift. I want that left foot forward. See how I create that space, this nice long stride, where I inhale, hips down, chest lift, big exhale, hinge hips back, and I straighten my front leg more and forward fold, okay? Inhale, exhale. Anytime you can add strength to any flexibility posture, you're really going to develop a whole new kind of, stabilizing ability in your body. As soon as I realized that muscles are designed to contract, I learned it about 4 years ago because I was going through collegiate myology, the study of your muscles. I learned that muscles clearly are designed to basically contract. So in any range that you move your body, if you can learn to contract muscles and throughout that whole movement, any ability becomes very kind of easy. It's just a lot of times in yoga, we're like stretching in certain poses and certain ranges of motion. And in a certain range of motion, we're strengthening more. So there's this imbalance developed. Strengthen where you're really flexible and weaker, and loosen up where you're really tight, right? Seems like common sense. So, I want to try to get you to a good 12 there, right? The first few are really just getting into it. The middle, last few are for going a little deeper. That is a movement-based exercise for blood flow, because now, round 3, plank pose. Step back. Now, I'm building. So now we'll take our first balancing plank. If you can't do it, regular plank or with the one foot. Here we go. Hands down. Right foot back, left foot back. Plank. If it's easy, right foot hovers. If that's easy, get your fingertips, your left hand, pop a wheelie here. Left arm forward. So we're going for it. I got you on the clock starting now, okay? If you can't do it, drop the bottom knee. There's always easier, yogis. Remember the first thing we did with the knee down and the core crunches? Hold that instead. Ideally, you're getting a little bit more unstable in your plank. If not, no big deal. Hold plank for your third time. You're about halfway. Let's switch sides. So go ahead. Your left foot would hover, and if you're going to try it, take it slow. Slow down. Feel all the little spaces. Remember, apply strength in every little range, okay? So right arm would reach forward here, and now you are in that what we call that balancing plank. You want to get a strong core? Look no further. Balancing plank. It's a very simple concept. When you make a posture unstable, you have to balance, it's way more core. When you lean forward in any posture, body weight is dispersed laterally, way more core. All right? The least core I can probably use is just standing like on my feet or just sitting, right? So apply those two principles to make it all more core. Big inhale. Nice job. There's your minute. Let's slowly drop down to our knees. And let's take our final warm-up stretch here, the side bend stretch. So now I want to sit on my heels. If you can't go further than this, just stay here. Watch my hips. I scooch my hips to the left, my feet to the right. So now, just to be clear, I'm on a big lateral tilt of my pelvis. My left sit bone is down, but my right hip is actually sitting kind of on my left heel. Right? Right hand down, my hips went left. Left arm up. Reach up, yogis. So root your sit bones down. Try not to round your spine. Try to reach up, side bend. Turn my top palm down and spiral my chest up. And breathe like your life depends on it, right? Like bring enthusiasm, energy, power, focus into breath work. There's nothing more core than breath. Every single core muscle, by definition, is a breathing muscle. Right? Anything that attaches to like ribs and abdomen, they all create the diaphragm movement. Okay, big inhale. Back to center, please. Sit on heels. My hips go to the right, my heels go to the left. Again, you can just do this sitting on your heels. This seems subtle, but it's actually a really big stretch. Right arm up. Right? Usually, I always say, triangles are biggest lateral tilt of class. I usually use that for the lateral tilts, but this is the opposite because when the top arm in triangle reaches up and over, we're actually tilted the opposite way. The right hip will lift here as the right arm goes up and over. This is a very unique posture, in a sense that the pelvic tilt, the right hip tilt, but the lateral flexion left. Not many yoga poses like this, right? You're gonna get this huge lengthening of the lateral side body, okay? All right, guys, big inhale. Take your time. I don't want you to hold that long. Okay, right hand down, sit on your hips. Take a moment in your cat-cow. Take a moment in your downward dog. All right, what we're kind of doing is neutralizing. We've already done a lot. We're almost halfway done with class. You know, I've been calling all this stuff warm-up, right? Let's take a chaturanga or 3, please. On your inhale, nice rounding, wave-like movement in the spine forward. Exhale, bend elbows. Take a few extra push-ups if you like. Inhale. Take that nice back bend. Everyone in class knows this stuff. I don't need to break this down. Okay? If you don't know what you're doing, you just always keep low here. You feel good, you keep your hips down. Look at the elbows, bend back and down. Okay? Downward dog is that exhale. Remember, breath is linking with movement. So take 2 to 3 more. Not many of these today. Nice, yeah. If you want to go up into a handstand, hey, hallelujah, don't be shy now, okay? If you need a child pose, also hallelujah, take a little meditation, okay? My yoga teacher, Dharma, he has like the most advanced practice I've ever seen. But he always says, we're in like master class. All yoga teachers who are, you know, work for the circus. You know, we do all these yoga poses, but he always says, if you want to stop the beginner stuff and go right to the meditation, anytime you want to sit and meditate, skip the beginner, go right to that meditation. Okay, downward dog, yogis. Let's walk our hands to the back of our mat. Okay, let's take a nice little stretch here. Hands on your shins, let's lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. 3 to 4 more breaths. You got a couple options here, guys, if you want to kind of sway side to side. Okay, if you want to, pull on your feet or step on your hands. We did 3 plank holds on the hands, so if you want to stretch the back of the wrist, you're pretty flexible. Notice my knees bend, my palm flip up. I actually slide my palms face up underneath the mat on the toes here, and I'm stepping on my hands, okay? I work on straightening my legs more, bending my elbows toward my shins, not out wide, but hug them in. Try to relax the back of the neck. You can also throw your hands behind your head, kind of tuck your chin to your chest, stretching the back of the neck more. There's always many variations. Try to be intuitive here. All right, we're gonna come into some standing work now. Think legs, then we're gonna go back down. We're gonna hit, we're gonna hit your abs. We're gonna do our sliding bridges today for hamstrings and glutes. All right, let's slowly release there. Bend those knees, let's rise up. If you'd like, always throwing in a little bit of this. A little bit of shaking it out. Remember on Sunday morning, we did this to start class, a good minute to 2. That's always good to throw in if you feel like you still need that release. All right, first standing posture. Stand up nice and tall. I want left foot down first, right knee lifts. I need you to really press down through your left foot and drive that right knee up. I am gonna have you intertwine your fingers 2 inches below your knee and stand up very tall. Pull the knee up higher, drive down through your left heel, lift up, up, up with your chest. Now you see I'm almost exaggerating? Let's just breathe here. If you're good at it, close your eyes, okay? Now, the way I like to do this is I have this little, what we call wobble board or balance board. I'm using this to get your glutes to fire. So I like to do it like this. If you don't have one of these, buy yourself a Christmas present, a $20 thing that'll change your life. Now look at this. Remember I said anything that's more unstable is more core. But I have to make sure I am really pressing down through my left foot and I'm really standing up. The left glute, the standing leg butt cheek is our target, okay? If you have kids, you better have one of these around the house because they're like drawn to it. They just stand on it constantly. And what's that doing? It's changing their brain. It's changing their body, okay? You got kids, get 1 or 2 of those, okay? All right, big inhale. Let's do our second side, right foot down. So everyone feeling that in their left glute? Does everyone feel that in your standing leg? Okay, cool. You know, people, they always ask me about glutes, right? They want to make their butts stronger, you know, have a nice booty, I guess. Girls always say that. I want to make my butt stronger. And, you know, this is one of like the top 10 exercises. Remember, extension, balance. So just that, really, and you can like pulse a little bit, knee up, hips forward, and you're going to get that glute firing. But remember, we got to stay in the posture, okay? Hold that, 2 inch below the knee, kind of pulling up, standing, pulling up, standing. Fantastic one, okay? It's not dynamic, it's static, but it's going to do things a lot of those normal glute exercises aren't going to do. Plus, it's yoga anyway, right? And what I'd like you to do is remember this, guys. You can say you're doing, you're watching TV. Say you're doing something on the computer. Sometimes, like I'll be listening to studying or something, or you know, doing something up here, and I'll just stand there like this. I'm kind of killing 2 birds with a stone here. I'm getting my glutes, my balance while I'm doing something else. All right, so it's a really good thing to remember. Okay. Now I am going to turn this right into glute max again. So take your time. I need you to make sure you do your second glute equally, or you know, at least where you're feeling that work. So you're going to shake that out, please. Now I want to take it to our rotational plane. We're going to open up nice and wide. We got to do our glute squats. So remember, glute max. You make glute max, takes pressure off hamstrings, lower back, makes everything stronger. Turn those feet open. All right, so let's bend those knees. Now today, I want you to just do this a little bit. Right? We haven't been moving that much. I want you to do a little pulse. Let's add a little bit of shoulder strength, and let's just go wide arms. So that's called your chromium delt, medial delt. And I just want you to like bounce. Okay, close your eyes. Feel like the waterness of your body. Yeah, bounce up and down, nice and slow. Now make sure your knees aren't buckling in. Okay, I need those knees actively opening over the heels. Try not to lean forward. Try to keep the spine nice and tall. You can pull your belly in a little bit, lift the core, but try to relax your traps. Keep bouncing, bouncing like your favorite song's on. Get low. You're in, you know, you're dancing, you're getting low. Last few here, guys. A little bit more bounce. Oh, get low, Rebecca. Remember, guys, we got to keep the legs strong. Core strength ain't doing much. If you can't get up out of bed strong and walk around all day, then the core isn't doing much. Legs are first, okay? But they're really part of your core, these hips. Okay, big inhale, guys. Let's slowly come up. Turn your toes in. Take a moment here. All right, so let's stand up. Now, next exercise, moving balance. Now, remember, what's funny about what we just did is it's kind of like half moon, right? We're hitting similar things on the outer hips here, posterior muscle diaphragm. So watch me here. This is something we do a lot of. I want to try to get you on one foot, but moving. Hands on hips to start. If you want, you can step on a block with your right foot. Okay, you're going to inhale, hinge. Wait into your right toes, but don't overcramp the toes. Exhale, back up, left knee into chest. Drive the knee up, turn the butt on. Inhale, left butt, right stabilizing hip. Exhale. Inhale, slow down and feel everything. Basically, it's a movement from warrior 3 to tree posture. Remember, this is a type of tree. It's just another branch, right? Many types of tree in nature, same in yoga. This is one you're used to, but this is more the active form. If you'd like a little bit more, yogis, I'll let you be creative here. You could go here. You could even drop back for a lunge, okay? Then you could come back here, come back up here, and kick forward, okay? So you could add on a little bit more if you want to get creative, okay? But take your time. I need you to really slow down, guys, and feel the muscles we're targeting. That is called yoga. It means union. So can your consciousness connect better? Excellent connection is like unity, union, when stuff merges. So that's what yoga is. It's like, it doesn't really matter what we do. Seriously, I can call it hatha yoga and teach you any exercise. But it's what we're doing on the deeper layers and what we're working on, like the perception, is what is determining the quality of yoga, okay? I know people who do yoga a lot, like postures, and there's not much yoga happening. But I know people who are like joggers, where more yoga is happening, okay? Second side, guys, let's keep going, come on. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale, warrior three. Okay, so just to be clear, you know, this is a beginner exercise, but you would want to go less range. So say you're like a beginner here, we already did this. So what would you do? You build on it. I should have showed it like this maybe. I bend that knee, I shoot that leg back, I hinge a little bit, I lift the back leg, and then I come back up. To be honest, this might be one of the most core exercises we do. Plank seems like it's very core, but for most people, you're not going to get much core activation. Does anyone's abs burn in plank, or is it mostly your shoulders and back? This is more core than a plank for the average person, okay? One round only, guys. It looks pretty. I can see all of you. And you know, guys, say you can't do any of it. If I was teaching years back, I was teaching a class, active older adults at the YMCA. I had people in their upper 90s. I would never teach this, right? So I would teach something like this if they're real good, just that, we did that. But this would be more just like a double leg hinge. So same thing, the leg's not lifting back, and I'd have them stand up and maybe lift the knee to their chest, okay? So I'd put their left foot down, I'd have them hinge. Obviously, it wouldn't be that far either, right? But I'd have them lift their other knee. That would be the very beginner, safe, easy variation of that same exercise, all right? All right, yogis, so I promised you more planks, so that's what we're gonna do. We've done 3 rounds of balance now, and now we're gonna make our way back down to the ground. Look like most of you are done, so I gotta keep it moving forward because we don't got that much time here. So let's widen our feet. Yogi squat, inhale. Take it down, take a breath or two. Yoga squat, well, it's basically one of the most traditional yoga poses. Usually, in tradition, we do that like every class. If you don't do yoga squat, you do child pose or knees into your chest. It's called anjyana on your back. So now the planks get a little bit more outside the box. The twist, the side. Forearms, let's step back. Down to the forearms. I love this plank. Well, love, hate, right? It's a mixed relationship here. That keeps it interesting. Feet go wide. Now listen, both forearms are down. Inner edge of right foot, outer edge of left foot. Now, I'm not going to teach the movement side to side. Okay? You can do that if you want, but if you're new, inner edge of right foot, outer edge of left foot, I want you keep the forearms down. Okay, pull the chest through, spread the back. It's called twisting plank. I have you on the clock starting now. 30 seconds on each side if you can. Yogis, the way you get stronger is stepping into the moment when the opportunity is in front of you, okay? I know that's not easy, but getting strong is not easy. Right now, in that moment, it's the moment of growth, when you struggle. Okay, now come back to center, go to your second side. You're on your forearms, guys. You're on your forearms. Both heels go to the right, so you're on the inner edge of your left foot, outer edge of right foot. Both forearms are down. We're not in side plank yet, ladies. We're halfway there. It's like your lower body's going to side plank, but your upper body says, no, I'm staying in high plank, or forearm plank. Come on, you want that strong core. It's also gonna make your obliques really strong. This muscle here that's coming down the side ribs, across the lower side abdomen. It's a really nice one to remember. Even if you just take a quick little dose of it, don't let it get too strenuous, okay? All right, big inhale. Okay, listen, let's drop down to the knees, down to the chest for a moment. I want to take a stretch here because our active extensions are coming, but I want to give you another moment. Now, you might need to take a little breather. You're on your forearms. I remember when I started yoga, these forearm sequences were like torture. So sphinx, if you have it, a couple breaths. Remember we did 2 frontline releases earlier. So we're going to lift the chest. Now, if you want more, please go slow, be easy, turn your left forearm in, bend your right knee. But listen, guys, my heel comes to my butt, but I really have to hip thrust, drive my pubic bone down. My right hand can reach back. Don't twist, just keep your right shoulder forward and pull your heel to your butt. The key is posterior tilt. So drive your pubic bone down, lift your chest. And just to be clear, that's the biggest frontline stretcher class today, right? You could do something like camel, bow, wheel, but this is the big one, right? We did anjyana, now we go bent knee. So now it's the peak 40 minutes in of frontline. So sphinx posture, nice and slow, last couple of breaths, left arm reaches back, left heel bends. Again, I don't want to let my back arch. I have to push my pubic bone down, lift my chest forward and up, and squeeze my heel to my butt. So I'm on my chest, okay? Not like that. Posterior tilt. You know, one of these Sundays, I was thinking about taking an hour, doing a little workshop, like a yoga anatomy workshop. You know, it's where we're just kind of like breaking down a lot of this stuff, like how muscles contract, different types of contractions, different planes of movement. You know, just functional anatomy. Like this is the shoulders, this is the range of motion, this is what they're called, this is what they do, this is what muscles are involved. You know, I think it's really good to increase information always. That's how I teach general, but just to take a class, let's call it anatomy for yoga. And we learn a lot of this stuff without like challenging ourselves too much, all right? Let's slowly release down, press back to child pose, please. So let me know what you think, you know, in an email or in the comments, the chat, but I thought it'd be good because sometimes it's hard to learn when we're struggling in a yoga pose, okay? So second round, now we are gonna go twist again, okay? We're gonna come back to our forearms, back to our forearm plank, inner edge of left foot, outer edge of right foot. Breathe. If you know the advanced rotational plank, we've done it once or twice, you can do it. I'm not gonna show it right now. It's the bent knee, where you actually start on your butt, you drop to the side, twist around. I guess I'll show it, but here's more advanced twisting plank. Feet wide, knees not left. Feet are really far apart here. I drop down behind me, forearms, and I press down on the inner outer edges, and I lift the body. Okay, if you don't know what the heck I'm doing, don't even worry about it. Stick with what you're doing. Okay, second round, second side, heels up, heels to the second side. So we're really strengthening what's called anti-rotation. Your body wants to rotate the spine more, but you're not allowing it to. Okay. Uh-oh, I'm losing you guys now. You guys are petting your dogs and checking your phones. What, you don't want strong, nice obliques right through here? That's the love handles, right? So it's gonna trim up there. Don't worry, stretching is coming up, okay? We're gonna do our side planks and our locust here. All right, so let's come back to center. Let's take it down to the chest. Take a moment to release. All right, so we've done multiple levels of the release of the front body. Now, let's go for, with less muscle resistance in the front, let's strengthen the back. We are gonna do our locust, and I don't want you to overstrain here, yogis, okay? So point your toes, see if you can touch your feet together, engage your thighs, bring your arms wide to the T, press your palms down to start, and then inhale, lift your chest, your arms, your head, and let's lift the legs. I'm bending my arms here just because I don't have space with the wall. So let's just hold here. Couple breaths. I want you to try to lift those hands. So you're like this, right? Lifting those arms up and back. So it's the back of our legs, it's the back of our butt, the legs, and the upper back. They call that triple chain when the whole muscle chains. If you think of each muscle as a link in a chain, right? And we're engaging all of them. That's the triple chain, okay? Now, big inhale. Take a little breather if you want to lower down and turn your second ear down. Okay, big inhale here, please. We're going to turn our chin forward. Now, a little bit different. Reach your hands down by your sides. Palms face the body. So another part of the back shoulder. Let's lift the chest, the arms, the legs. So think of this like a plank, but it's non-weight bearing. So it's actual extension. A lot of times we do anti-extensions where the body's trying to go in extension, we don't let it. But here, can we really lift? Or excuse me, the body's trying to go in flexion, but we don't let it. Lift those legs, the thighs. You're almost done here with the challenge, guys. We're going to do those active bridges and lolasana in our final core here, all right? Nice, Brian. Lift those arms a little higher, though. Arms lift, guys. Come on. Okay, big inhale. Take a slow breather, lower down, maybe turn your second ear down. We have one more round. And if you can't do it, just lift your chest. You don't even need to lift the legs here. All right, because we already did a couple rounds of the glutes. And our third and final round, if you want to go for the full variation, we did Y, we did here. You could reach your arms forward in space. Like that, basically on your chest. It's like you're holding an imaginary block. If you want to go big, put that block between the hands. Let's lift our chest, arms, and legs, like you're making your body nice and long. Third and final round of our, now what we call extended locust. Yeah, Tuesday morning's a work class, all right? You got Tuesday morning, wake up, we get our work done in our yoga, right? My only gentle morning class is the Saturday, which, by the way, will be 9 o'clock this week, not 9:15. All right, so I will send out an email about that reminder. Big inhale, very good job. Lower down, child pose, press it back. So listen, guys, we're gonna come up to tabletop. We're gonna swing our legs around seated. So here's where you're going to need your blocks, or, I asked you to grab paint cans from the garage. You have those big, hefty cans of tomato sauce with a towel. Those might work too. But something to create a little bit more lift. So there's many functional things to this. I really should be teaching this more. It's fantastic. It's not easy. What we're going to do is put our blocks right outside those hips. We're going to push straight down. I don't want those blocks behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down. Now, you can do this on your fingertips so you don't have blocks, but just be careful. It's a lot of weight in your finger joints that you might not be used to, all right? But it will strengthen your hands a lot. So press straight down on your blocks, lift your butt. See if you can pull your butt back. Press down, lift that butt. Maybe you can lift one ankle or both. So I'm hovering both feet in my buttocks, and I'm gonna hold here, breathe, okay? I'm gonna try to go for a good 10, 15, or 20 seconds. All right, that's like supreme core work. All right, then you take a little breather for your first round. You can roll out your wrists a little bit. A lot on the wrist today. Okay. From the side view, second round. Let's keep going. I'm gonna cross our ankles here. Hug our. Now, say you can't do this at all. You're like, Bob, what the heck are you doing today? Lay on your back. You can do a little bit more like this, like the crunches, where I'm just doing a little pulse in my abdomen muscles. But really, when you're in the work of the expert core, this is what we work on, not really crunches as much. Okay, so elbows hug in, blocks are right outside hips. Now I'm showing you straight leg. Let's push down on those blocks. Let's pull our butt a little bit back. One foot can lift, let's hold, lift the chest, maybe both feet, okay? Like I mentioned, basically the more difficult the posture, the faster you're gonna grow in strength. So what posture do you hate the most? Do that a lot and you will change your body faster than you can believe. All right, take a little breather. We're just gonna try 3 rounds of our lolasana today. All right, we're gonna do one quick core and then our sliding bridges to close out class, and then a stretch or two. All right, so it looks good. Take a breather, roll out your wrist, give it a little compressions. Remember, I always talk about this, just giving it a squeeze. What you can do is actually, so I put it in like the wrist crease, and I squeeze. It creates a little lift in that wrist crease, and I just give it a little light roll. It's almost like a wrist decompressor, right? I guess kind of shake it out. Now our last round, another fun way to do this, guys, this is like the upward facing one that I showed you, now the downward facing. So you press your palms down more outside your thighs, you pull your knees up into your chest, maybe you hover, okay? So it's crow, but my knees are not on my, you wanna get strong, remember these 3. Lolasana with the cross, lolasana L with the legs straight, or this is the downward facing lolasana here, okay? You hold those, it's like plank on steroids, okay? It's gonna make you really strong, okay? Is anyone doing this with me? I see Brian, okay, Darlene's trying, Sherry's trying, Dawn's trying. All right, I don't know what Becky's doing. She's doing crow on her back. Nice, I like that version. Just kidding. I can pick on her. She's my sister, okay? She likes when I push her a little bit. All right, guys, so how about, I saw half of us doing this. So I'd like to give you one core exercise, just given a different aspect of the core today. You know crunches, you know that stuff. We do that pretty much every week. If I had to pick one core exercise, look at this. I just hold low boat. This is fantastic here. Maybe a little pulse in my chest. You come to my core classes and I'll say, let's go crazy and do 100 pulses, right? Or, just this little pulse. People ask how I got my core strong. I also learned ballistic end range pulse. I added this to my classes. Once I added that to my practice, I could do like everything in yoga. It's holding hollow body, pulse. You can also do it with your feet down. It's not jerky, all right? It's very controlled and small movement. If you don't want to do that, a little bit of this. You can also add a little twist to the right, twist to the left, twist to the right, twist to the left. Bicycles, pretty famous exercise. One core last blast here, and then we will do our sliding bridges. Just so we're clear, twisting core from the upper body, active twist, is known to make people's lower back sore. Basically, that is bicycle. It is known to make people's back sore. So just so we're clear there. When you're new to twisting core, you want to repeat sides like that, as opposed to going like that. Okay, it's just a beginner thing. Anytime we're kind of alternating sides in the big rotation, so it's more, okay. All right, guys, so how about we say, if you can do sliding bridge today, let's do it. If you don't have sliding bridge and you want to go big, you can do wheel or just a nice bridge with 1 or 2 legs on the floor. So it looks like most of you are done there. So let's try this today. Last exercise that's any strain here, but we'll take a stretch or 2 to calm down. So watch, this is called sliding bridge. Arms down. My feet are on my blanket so I can slide. I lift my bridge. Watch my feet and my legs. I'm gonna straighten my knee, my legs. Look at my feet though, they do flex. My toes come off the ground. My butt's still lifted, and then I pull it back in. I gotta use my arms a little bit and my core. I'm gonna inhale. That's called extended or full bridge. Exhale, bring it in. If you're new to that, you're gonna feel it in your back because your hamstrings are connected to your lower back, okay? Literally, it's called superficial back line. It is a muscle chain, okay? Go ahead. Sliding bridge. Try to get to 6 reps. 2 rounds. Nice, Brian. Brian, as you could bring your feet closer to your butt, your soles of the feet can come back down. Yeah. And then as you go forward, yeah, your butt tries to stay up. Let me see. Can I see anyone? Nice, Dawn. You can always, like, you know, do a single leg bridge if you want a little bit more, or a restorative bridge if you've had enough. Okay, throw a block under your butt. Just don't let those knees buckle out, Dawn. You know, keep those. There you go. Good adjustment there. Okay, so it looks good. How about we take one more round, and then we're going to take a stretch or two and a nice little closing rest. Okay. Yogis, don't forget the sliding bridge. I was hoping to have time for like warriors with a blanket and stuff, but luckily we'll save that for Hatha Yoga this week. It's really good stuff. Don't miss this week because we're going to really build a lot of strength, throw a little curveball. Thanks, Mate. So don't miss this week. Hatha Yoga, both Wednesday, Sunday, and Thursday. There's going to be a little extra focus on that in different forms, so make sure you're here, okay? So listen, guys, we just did front and back line. How about we take a back line stretch and then a core stretch? Perfect way to end class today. So when you're ready here, another thing we kind of didn't get to throw in there, just due to lack of time, is our side plank work, but we do that more often than twist and plank, so I chose that. All right, so nice thread the needle, right ankle at top left knee. If you want to come into our pigeon pose or seated double pigeon or something like that, let's do a nice hip stretch of choice. Okay, just notice here, guys, when I first get into the pose, you see how I kind of lift my head and my hips to get that grip? I want to try to bring my head and my hips back down, even my shoulders back down to the floor. And I pull and flex the foot. All right, couple breaths, slow down now, good job. Any hip stretch of choice, okay? Okay, big inhale there. Your pace, right? Maybe shake your legs out a little bit, roll out your ankles, and then you're gonna do your second side. Just notice that ankle. Remember, the knee joint, yogis, it's called a hinge joint. When you think of a door hinge, it goes one direction, just like your elbow. It goes forward and back. That's it. The elbow joint and the knee joint, they actually rotate a tiny bit to lock and unlock, but to straighten, but it's not a rotating joint. So look at this. We're forcing the leg in like a rotational tension. And what we want to do here is flex that foot, the left foot here on the second side, to protect the joints. The knee is not a rotational joint. So when we force the leg into rotational quality in any form, you know, you want to engage ankles, quads. You can't really engage your quad here, right? Which we would in something like half moon, let's say, or triangle. So we engage ankle to protect joints, ankle and knee, okay? That's important. Don't forget to flex that foot that's atop the knee. Nice, Brian. A little more full pigeon there. So we got about 5 minutes left in practice. I'm gonna let you finish up this hip stretch. You know, happy baby might feel good, or a spinal twist. I mentioned a torso release. There wasn't that many deep twists today. So if you wanna go for our deepest twist of class, you know, after you take a little happy baby or something like that, left knee releases, right knee across the body. So that'd be deepest twist of class, right arm reaches out, big breath. Okay, someone might want to throw their legs up the wall, do a little plow into shoulder stand. That's also a torso release in the back body. Okay, I'm showing you an assisted shoulder stand here, a little bit elevated legs. You know, I like to give options here in the end of class. I see one of you, two of you, you're doing your restorative bridge with the legs up. That's also nice. Whatever you're doing, you know, start to close up the physical practice. What's one, two last little movements, stretch you need so you can just commit to a good 2 to 3 minute shavasana in the end here, okay? And you know, if you're doing something one side, please start to think about the other side, switch it up slowly. Another principle I learned in the myology, you can see it applied in my classes. I tend to try to strengthen our legs more. I see a lot of yogis. They are guys, right? Their arms are all big from arm balances, holding those postures. Their abs are all strong, but they have legs. There's no muscle in the legs. You got to be careful with that, yogis. We know that the signal in the bone and muscle building primarily happens from weight bearing in the legs, the bigger bones. And body weight, it's not easy. So I'm always going to be a legs first person unless the information I learn about the body changes. So there wasn't like that much on the arms today, but we try to always get a lot of arms in. But mainly class will be legs first. About 50% of strengthening is legs, 30% is core, particularly lower back, and then 20% is arms. Okay, so when you're ready here, guys, let's take our final closing meditation. Let's just say the true Hatha Yoga, Iyengar said, you know, he's like 2 minute minimum. But that's for somebody who can really go in quickly. So don't waste time. Just go right into your Shavasana. Shake it out. Take 10 seconds. Take one last deep breath. Sigh it out. And just melt right into the floor. Practice surrender. All right, yogis, if you have a little bit extra time, please take extended shavasana on your own. You know, even as other people, there's noises around you, us. It's always good to practice shavasana in some noise. That's called functional. Like the real world can be relaxed, even though there's some things happening around us, okay? When you decide to exit, it's a breath or two, not too much breath work today, maybe a full body stretch, wrist and ankle roll. All right, we'll bring those knees into the chest at your pace, a little massage of your back, rock forward, back side to side. And then eventually you can roll to the side and let's sit up slowly. Okay, so remember guys, this is a challenge-based class, and I choose to teach some classes that are really difficult because it's just based on like psychology. Psychology says that choosing the most difficult option is how we change and grow. That's where our growth is, you know, kind of choosing. It's self-imposed challenge, okay? Tradition yoga, hands in prayer, tuck the chin. Humility, grateful, we bring it back to the mind. Remember the blessing. Quick moment of thanks. And then namaste, yogis. Good work today. Thank you for being here. And thank you guys for all your donations. I really appreciate you guys.